Hello and good evening to all you, our beautiful televiewers, and welcome to another amazing edition of your favorite talk show, Girls Talk. You know it is I, your girl, Blessing Kiko, always here to bring you the best. Girls Talk is that let me put it this way. Girls Talk is the best talk show you want to always tune in on. Why? Because we talk about marriage, we talk about career, we talk about spirituality, we talk about everything that pertains to the woman and men. I think a lot of us always hear the word girls talk, the program girls talk, and we think it's limited to women, but it isn't the case. We talk about men as well, and that's why we always have men on the program as well. So today, in our talking part, we have an amazing thing to talk about, an amazing discussion on the table. But in order for us to dive deep, we will need all of you to stay tuned all through the program and to send in your contributions. Okay, as you see the numbers at the bottom of your screen, you have to send us your contributions throughout the program. Whatever you think you can add, whatever you think you want to ask, you should do that. All right then, today's edition is characterized by amazing persons as always, and we have debut faces, I think, new faces on the program, and we have a veteran as well. Old and new mixed together. It's just excellent. So we are going to meet our guests after this break. When we talk woman, a lot of things come into play. We think family, of course, and in the days of old we'll think the kitchen. But thank God things are changing in the world today. And when you hear woman, I think the word that should come to your mind is responsibility. I think that should be the word that comes to your mind. Responsibility. Well, that's just my opinion. However, women in our societies have been fighting with one or two battles, fighting one or two battles that are hindering them in one way or the other. March has been termed the month of the woman, and 8th of March was Women's Day. So we are talking something that pertains to the woman today, and it has to do with women networking and collaborating for growth. Women networking and collaborating for growth. And to help me dissect this topic, we have very amazing persons, and today we're going to do something special for them. You're going to see their image on the screen, and I'm going to tell you who they are before you finally meet them live on the program. So right now, with the help of our technician behind the screen, we are going to have those pictures. We're starting with Miss Kelly Jabosong, of course. As you can see, the smile looking so radiant. When you see her live on the program, you're definitely going to see that smile as well. She's a very dynamic woman, and as I said, Miss Kelly Jabosong, she is a PhD fellow at the University of Boyer, studying sociology with a research focus on discrimination and the feminization of poverty. This one is really big. I think she's going to give us a little of what that is all about. And to think that she's also a tutor. She is a mentor. She's a coach. In fact, if I have to say everything about her, we are not going to finish this edition today. We are not going to complete the edition today. So she's going to give us the honor of telling more of every other thing that she does. She has a network of things. And she's here with us. So good evening and welcome on the show, Miss Kelly.
Thank you. Good evening.
You're looking radiant.
Thank you.
And I think the viewers will say red is your favorite color.
It's a coincidence. I think so. It's a coincidence.
It's like an image I put there is red, and then she is a red.
She's very red.
She's a lady in red. All right, then let's meet another beautiful lady in the house. She's none other than Miss Iya Mosole. I don't want her to sue me for getting her name wrong. So she's Miss Iya Mosole, and she has a background in gender studies. We're going to have an image there on the screen. She has a background in gender studies from UB and 6 years experience in gender and community development, of course. And she is also a women empowerment activist. Most importantly, she is the founder of Naomi's Foundation, NAF. Good evening and welcome to the program, Miss Mosole.
Good evening.
I hope you will not sue me for getting it,
No,
for mixing the name. All right,
not.
because I was afraid of a lawsuit coming my way.
No.
Okay, so it's really a pleasure to have you. This is the first time you're being on Girls Talk as Miss Jabuson. It's the first time you're being on the program.
Yes.
So I'm sure the viewers are waiting to find out what you have for them,
Certainly.
like what's in your basket today.
Certainly.
Oh.
To give it out to them.
All right, so let's do him the honor right now. The only king in, I think we'll say the only man in which is the sick, is it, how do you call this school again? Seka.
Sacred Heart.
No, he's the only guy in Seka, in Lords. Yes, so he's the only guy in Seka and Lords right now. So I can imagine, probably he's the principal of the school. That's why he's the only man. So we have this other amazing person. His image will be on the screen. And I said he's a veteran, you know, because, as you can see, he's singing hallelujah already. He always loves to be introduced in the most simple way as possible, you know. He is Prof. Teke Charles, Vice Chairperson, Base Pillar Foundation, and he's one man who always stands behind a woman. When you hear woman, the man part of it, just know it's Prof. Teke. So, Prof, veteran, you are welcome again on the program.
Thank you. Thank you, my lovely televiewers. It's a pleasure to be with you this evening, and hope we're going to have a wonderful time together.
Exactly. And remember, get your dictionaries ready, okay? I always give you that warning beforehand. Get your dictionaries ready. So when he says one thing, you check so you can understand. All right, I'm already so happy. I'm already so, I think my spirit is lifted right now. So we are diving into something very important. This is, how we put it, Women's Month. March is the Women's Month, and we have Women's Day that just passed barely 2 weeks or so ago, and we realized that there have been many programs, many trainings that have been happening in and out of Boya around the nation, and all of this is geared towards the woman, empowerment of the woman. So let's talk about this, women networking and collaborating for growth. Maybe I start from you, Ms. Jabuson. When we say networking, maybe someone is watching and is like, network, what do they even mean? What do they mean by women networking? I think maybe they can understand collaborating a little, since we always hear people say they collabo. They do collabo, so so women collaboing together. But let's talk about networking. So when we say women networking together, like networking for growth, what would you say? What's your take on this?
Okay, I would say women networking together, like women interacting, coming together.
Okay, interacting.
To support an idea or an action. And this idea or an action is for the purpose of improving them professionally.
Okay.
It could be skill development, it could be knowledge sharing.
Okay.
You know, it could be supporting, like, be it physical material. But networking is all about interacting, coming together, interacting to support an idea.
Okay.
From knowledge sharing, skill.
So it could be as simple as just you and I having a conversation.
Yes.
That's we interacting
Yes.
for a common good.
Yes.
Okay. I think we'll learn to, since Prof is the man in Seka, we'll always give him the honor to be the person to answer last. Good. So I think we'll get to you, Ms. Mosole. What would you say when you hear the word network, woman, growth? What comes to your mind?
Okay, what comes to my mind is when we talk of networking, we are talking about one or two women, two groups of people coming together to complete a task
or
achieve a goal.
All right.
You know,
So, okay, that's completing a task. So it will link with idea, maybe an initiative.
Yes, sharing knowledge.
Okay.
Skill empowerment.
All right.
To forge something, to forge their interest ahead.
Ahead.
Most often they have common interest. When people come together, they have common interest.
A common interest. That's what brings them together.
Yes.
Okay, so we have trying to foster an idea, sharing knowledge, completing a task, and all of this for the general good of the woman. All right, then let's come to Prof. You are the man, male perspective. When you hear networking, you hear growth, you hear collaboration, and you hear woman put amidst all of these words. What comes to your mind?
The first thing that comes to my mind is the woman trying to uphold her position in society.
Okay.
And to do that, it cannot be something that is single-handed.
Okay.
So we have women with their great potentials that come together to exchange. They come together to talk about their differences or their points of convergence.
Okay, differences.
And most importantly, to forge ahead, despite what difficulties they face, to be feasible in the growth processes of a country or of a community.
Or even their homes.
Yes, even their homes. So networking has to do with coming together, as the other ladies already said, sharing ideas, exchanging ideas, looking at the differences, resolving conflicts, all this for the purpose of growth, of strength, of visibility in the various sectors where they're acting.
All right. Now, we have all been talking about coming together. Ms. Jabusong, you said interacting. And Ms. Mosole, you were talking about the fact that when they come together, when they interact, they complete tasks, they meet up with projects and things that have to help them. And Prof, you're also bringing you're bringing us to the point where we think of women sharing differences as well. Their differences. So it's not just things that are, how will I put it? Not just things that we are alike in, but also things that we are different in. Okay, if we look at our communities, particularly quartiers, let's use that word because that's how it's called. We always have this thing we call quartier women's meeting. I think I've observed this since I was a kid. You always see your mother leaving probably in the weekend, maybe it's a Sunday or it's a Saturday. You see her going out and she says, we have a meeting. And when you want to spin around the quartier, you tend to realize that all the women in that area are sitting at one person's front door or backyard and they are discussing. I used to ask myself, what are these women discussing about? Why are they always sitting in that group and talking? However, you don't see men going for quartier meetings. Why is that?
I think men will do more with football. Men do.
All right, they meet when watching football and then discuss. Yes. Prof, is that a
of
yay
course,
for you?
it's not like men don't meet. It's not like men don't have groups.
Okay.
The idea is always that men have had it all, or it's like they don't even need it. But I come back to the point that without the woman, it's true that God made the man first. But without the woman, I'm honest, the man is nothing. Without the woman, the community cannot flow.
All right, I think we should put one of our Boscos at the road there. So
without the woman, we cannot have a sense of purpose.
Yeah.
And you see, women are so powerful. Women are so strong, physically, psychologically. They think about the family. They think about the community. They think about the nation.
They're having these meetings.
And that despite whatever differences women have, there is one thing in common with women.
Which is?
The growth and the achievement of their children, of their husbands, of their communities.
Well, that's
every woman is interested in that. And so that's why you were talking about the quartier meetings. You hear about kitchen jangi. At the end of the month, there is so much food in Mami P's house. Perhaps even every week. The next week it is Ma Jacob. The next week it is Ma Charlie. You see how the women harness their efforts. And from there, that's how some cooperatives have developed. That's how some microfinances have developed. In fact,
this is good.
This whole concept of networking amongst women, it's so visible. The question is just how to uphold it, and the strategies to promote that in at all levels of our communities.
So thank you so much, Prof, for elaborating on this and actually hitting hard that women have so much to. That's why I said woman, you hear responsibility. To me, when you hear the word woman, the word responsibility comes to my mind immediately. And I think Prof has just brought that to our knowledge, like responsibility is one thing that the woman carries, and that's why we have Cartier meetings, Cartier women's meeting. All right, and I think he's just brought us to the very first aspect of this conversation, which is why should women collaborate? Why should women network? We are saying women networking and collaborating for growth. Why in the first place should they collaborate? I think I start now with you, Ms. Masoya.
Women should collaborate because when they come together, it builds their self-confidence.
Self-confidence.
It inspires them more when they share their stories. We talk about Cartier meetings.
Yes.
When you see these women coming together, they don't only talk about what brought them, the main goal of that meeting. They share other hidden struggles.
Maybe challenges within the week as well.
Yes, we are all women, but we have our different priorities, our needs, our interests are different.
Yes.
So when they come together like this, they share it and they also share solutions.
Okay.
You know, and when they go home, they are better people than when they came.
That's true.
When women also network, they inspire each other.
All right.
They learn faster. They connect easily.
So they learn faster. All right. You connect with each other easily, and you tend to share.
Yes. Share your stories. Share your successes.
To inspire each other.
Yes.
Wow. So it means women really do need this, because we keep on saying we don't. You hear some ladies will tell you out there, I just can't do anything in life because I'm not really inspired. I don't have the inspiration to, you know. It's you find. If I don't know if we're sincere, we realize that women usually have this complaint. Like, I don't have the inspiration to go to do it. Okay, I wanted to get into a trade, but I really don't know how to go about it. So I think this kind of networking is already important because it helps this lady who feels like there's no inspiration. I don't know how to go about it. Someone can share an experience which will inspire that person. Okay, Ms. Jabosong, tell us, why should women, maybe adding to what Ms. Mosole has said, because that already points us to the direction of the fact that women need inspiration from each other. So why should women network? Why should women collaborate in our communities today?
Okay, to add to what she said, you know, most often when we talk about from gender women's empowerment, gender equality, it's all about the fight. They're fighting against the patriarchal system. So if you want to pull down this, you know, the patriarchal system is like a set of social norms, rules and regulations that limit a woman from actually attaining her best self. So when women come together, we weaken this patriarchal system. These norms, these stigmas that come with being a woman. For example, if I love education and I tell my story to another woman and say, okay, if you want to be, you know, if you want to be able to influence your circle tomorrow, if you want to be able to push Cameroon forward, now get an education. Now we are breaking the myth. We are pulling down this patriarchal system that limits a woman. And secondly,
this is that which existed many years back, where you say you find a father sending his male child to school and thinking, no, the lady will get married tomorrow, so she doesn't really need education.
Yes, and in present we have more subtle forms of patriarchal systems. Like you see a woman, some girls are actually afraid of having a master's or a PhD because they'll say you're too strong for a woman.
I think I relate with that.
Yeah, you're too strong for a woman. You know, men will scare away from you. So when we network, we actually overcome that.
I think I've been told that too.
A lot.
Like, don't go too far in education. Don't go too far. It's going to limit you, and men will be scared of coming close to you.
Don't be too ambitious.
But men are allowed to have PhDs, and then they become professors, like Prof here.
And you know about networking, the importance of networking. This thing about women fight a lot of battles. From emotional battles, psychological, physical battles. At one point, you're expected to be a mother, you're expected to be a caregiver, and you work 9 to 5. You need a social support system. You need a friend to like to break down.
Yeah, someone you can cry.
Because we do that a lot as women. And you know, maybe you have this side of you. Maybe you know how to take care of your kids and you know how to balance for better.
Yes.
So now when we have this network, it's like it's like a rock you actually lean on. So it's, to me, I feel like women coming together to network and collaborate, it's indispensable. We need it.
We need it. We need it. Okay, it's a good thing. I already see Prof there. So Prof has a very, I'll call it a loud smile on his face. Prof has a loud smile on his face. So Prof,
Yes.
I saw when she said breaking patriarchal, myths and all of this, I saw Prof go. So Prof, what was running through your mind?
Well, you see, I've said it and I've said it several times.
Yes.
If I'm the person I am today,
Mm-hmm.
it's a woman.
Your mother.
And not only my mother,
Okay.
and all the women who have played a role in my life to be the person I am today. Let me be humble and honest enough to say it.
Mm-hmm.
And many of us suffer from the pride of not recognizing the worth of the woman. It's just pride. It's just ego.
Mm-hmm. And I think all men have that.
I think
sort
where
of-
I am speaking now, I'm supervising more female students at the master's and PhD
Wow.
in the university than male students. And if I were that patriarchal kind of person, I would have prevented them from arriving
coming.
at that level.
Yeah, like why?
And so we have changing, cultures are dynamic, cultures are changing. If women are educated today,
Mm-hmm.
it is not just a fight about the women or about men have contributed to that.
Okay.
And when we talk about networking, women networking, it doesn't mean the exclusion of men.
Yes.
It doesn't mean the exclusion of men. That's
Yes.
why I'm sitting here.
Yes.
If not,
Exactly, yes. We are
That's why- yes.
balanced.
That's why I'm sitting here, because we have grown with a certain kind of social and cultural conditioning that always want us to put the woman in a compartment and put the man in the compartment, as if when we talk about women we should exclude men, or if we talk about men we should exclude women.
Because
No,
that exclusion should not be
I have
possible.
hardly seen a conference for women only with women or by women. I've hardly come across that. Somehow, there are men who support the cause of women, no doubt. Many men who support the cause of women, who see into the fact that women are empowered.
Yes.
Okay.
There are many. So this whole concept of networking, I look at it from a micro perspective, micro, just like we talk about
Yeah.
the kitchen junkies
Viewers,
and all whatnot.
get your dictionaries. We're getting.
We start from the small quarter.
Yeah.
We go to the community, because that quarter is just a quarter in the community.
Yeah.
Before you realize, you have representatives of each quarter within the community. Before you realize, the community is represented at the national level. And when they work like that, you see that thread that cuts across. Because no doubt, we'll be talking about perhaps some of the challenges or the hindrances. We will come to that. But I think that for social purposes, moral purposes, economic, even political purposes, the women always need to have a force,
Okay.
to have a voice that empowers them, a voice that makes them feasible, a voice that commands respect,
All right.
not commands respect from men as well, to understand that questions of gender are not questions of weaker or
Stronger.
or not.
All right.
They are questions of strength, and I think
Okay. Thank
networking
you.
strengthens the woman.
Thank you so
Makes
much,
her very beautiful.
Prof.
Yeah.
I think he has so elaborated on this that I think if there was a viewer out there, the person would be like, this networking thing like this. Probably I should start networking. Get your neighbor. Say, neighbor, come, let's network. Let's start talking. Ms. Jabuzon said something. Oh, no, I think it's Ms. Mosale rather. You said inspiring. When women network, they inspire each other. Now, I think both Ms. Jabuzon and I, we were in a program, I don't know if she remembers, but that was in 2018. We were in a program where you were a speaker and I was one as well.
Yes.
She shared a story because everybody there was sharing a part of their story. She shared a part of her story that left everybody like. Most of the I almost said viewers, most of the audience were like, participants were like, okay, and then there she is standing in front of us. And I want to believe that you had a whole lot of girls come up to you for mentorship. A whole lot of them came because you shared a story. Now, talking about collaborating, is it possible that when women meet, because there is this constant thing that happens with us women, I could sit with you and instead of me appreciating Miss Jabusong, I tell you she thinks she has gotten to a certain level. So we are here trying to find a way to put her down. Is it possible that within this Cartier meetings, within this circles where we are collaborating, that women may lose the focus for why they should be there and then probably work toward their own detriment and the other side? And
can I just come in?
I wanted Ms. Mosole to answer, then we come back to you.
Yeah.
Yes, it is possible for them to lose focus when they are networking. As my friend said, most of this notion of pull her down syndrome is a cultural and patriarchal notion that women should compete by our upbringing.
All right.
But in most cases where women network, they benefit. She shared her story. People, many girls were inspired to say, okay, I was not going through this thing alone. Somebody else has gone through it and she has prevailed over it.
Yes.
And then she's standing strong. So I too.
I think I have the strength to also do this.
So yeah, most of whom, among not just women, even men have been in their gatherings. Right now in my quarter where I live, men too have their own support network.
Wow, that's nice. That's nice.
And women too have theirs, and they have come together to push the community goal ahead. So they too have their own small differences.
Of course, there will always be differences.
It's a common human phenomenon. So, in my own opinion, that aspect of women competing among each other is minimized somehow.
All right.
If
I think we'll fall, because I think Ms. Jabusong wants to hit hard on this one. But we'll fall back on this one. We'll be talking challenges. Okay. Challenges. I just brought that up since we're talking about the fact that in this subgroups, we can inspire each other. So I just wanted to ask if in this same subgroups, is there a possibility of it working against some women in the same community? So that's the reason I brought that up. But I think we'll hit hard on it, or we'll elaborate on it when we'll be talking about the challenges women face in networking and collaborating. Okay, I think Prof now is like, all right, I think I'll keep that thing for later. There was something coming there. So I think there could be a lady watching right now, and she may have been asking the question, why do I even need to collaborate, to network with another person for me to grow? Since we're saying network, not networking and collaborating for growth. And the theme, as I can see Ms. Jabusong has clearly put there, for our slogan is balance for better. That's Women's Day this year. The slogan was balance for better. Means we are balancing everything around us, and not just to that aspect. I think we have been limiting it to just the gender discrimination kind of thing. But what you said earlier, you said women trying to handle all their responsibilities and yet having strength to pull through with it all. All right. Let's get to probably the next section, but just before we get there, we're going to take a musical interlude so we can all catch our breath. We can all relax a bit, and then when we come back, we'll pick up with a lot of fire. So we'll have this beautiful piece. It's a dedication to women. It's a dedication to women. So I would love to know if our technician has got it there. Okay, so it's a dedication to women, okay? A warrior is a woman. That is the title of this beautiful musical piece. So we're going to listen to it, and when we come back, we'll be diving in more. Yes, a warrior is a woman. She welcomes all her friends and foes. Even in the time of distress, she still does not have time to cry. She is always standing strong to hold the family, hold her children, hold her community together. However, for women to do this, they need to network. For them to be able to grow, they need to collaborate. And I don't think the collaboration is only with women, it could also be with men. But today we are trying to find out how women could network and collaborate for their general good. We've been dwelling on why women should, and we have touched points like when women collaborate, they share their difficulties and they can learn from other people's experiences. They are inspired by others' stories. They help to build the community while they share their stories. And we spoke about Cartier meetings that have been able to help in this light as well. So right now we are going to dive into our next segment of this particular edition. And we would want to find out from you, viewers, as well. Please send in your contributions, okay? We need to find out what your experiences have been. You are a lady watching, you are a guy watching. Probably you tried networking and something happened, or you networked and then something great happened. Share your experiences and your difficulties with us. The numbers are there at the bottom of your screen. Send your comments and we are going to read it on the program. If you have a question for either of the guests, do send it and we are going to answer those questions for you. For those of you who are watching in Douala, in Siko, please, we need your contributions. And remember, no calls, just SMSs. All right then, let's dive into the topic. Let's get in more and more. We were talking about why women should network, and now we want to find out what can it take? What will it take for women to network? Like, what are the strategies that we can implement to see that women network and collaborate? So how can this networking and collaborative spirit be done? Yes, probably we have all networked in one way or the other. So let's find out how this can happen. I'll start with you, Ms. Jackson.
Okay, I'll start by saying that the first is we break the generational divide. Most often, like age gap. Most often, younger women don't go close to the elderly ones. We create a gap. But that is, I think that is already one of our challenges. Yes. So I think as a strategy, we should deal with the generational divide, because there's a lot you will learn from a 50-year-old. She has a lot of experiences. She's gone through a lot of challenges, and she has survived. They are willing
to share.
They are. Okay, now, I think we need sensitization on both sides.
Yes.
You know, when we break that divide now, okay, we have a balanced platform.
Yes.
You know, whereby age women and younger women, we come together, we reason together, and we are going to have, you know, we share the challenges because times are changing. Yeah, we share, and they will learn from us.
Exactly, because I was about to say, we too could share our ideas with them. As in, they may have done it a certain way, and we are another generation, and we are doing it in a certain way that still leads us to the same thing. However, there are different strategies we are using, so we share that. So we are breaking the generational divide. All right, that's a good one. We can do this by first breaking the generational divide. Ms. Mosole, do you have a strategy you think women can use to network?
We can also encourage women by disseminating the information.
All right, like what we are doing now.
Yes, most women don't attend forums or platforms because they're not aware that this seminar is taking place here, or this workshop is taking place here. Take for instance a woman in let me say Bokova or Lisoka. And then who has to attend a women's forum at the delegation of women's empowerment? If she's not aware, she will not attend that forum, and she will not benefit. So the information should be disseminated to the women properly, and also women should be provided with some support system. A woman who just put to birth, who has a baby, who is a nursing mother, for instance, you know, coupled with the house chores, all the responsibilities assigned to women, there are moments when you don't even have time to attend those forums, even if you are aware, because of time and the workload. Okay. So women too should be provided with a support system. I know it's not easy, but I'm encouraging more women to get support system.
You know, I'm beginning to have an idea that probably we just take the challenges and this, because somehow we are pointing those things that are actually the difficulties. So I think we just take in the challenges and then it goes in line with what should be done instead. I think that way it will flow better. Because I almost wanted to point out that you just gave a challenge. So I thought, okay, no, let's just do the challenge. The two go together. So Ms. Jabusong had already spoken about age, the barrier, breaking that generational barrier, the divide. That's a challenge. So I then asked this question. We're going to come back to what Ms. Mosole said. Then, Prof, you're going to tell us what you think. But talking on this particular aspect, I asked the question if the older generation are willing to share with the younger generation. Prof, once you use one term, please. I hope I don't make a mistake. You said gerontocracy. That Cameroon is run by gerontocrats, meaning the old remain in power and the young are left to watch the old in power, whereas they have vibrant energy within them that they could use to push the nation forward. Can this apply when we talk about the woman and we talk about networking and collaborating? Can it apply in this particular aspect?
Of course it can. Okay, maybe we start from the term you use.
Gerontocracy.
All right. That, I think, comes from insecurities.
All right.
You know, as women, insecurity and fear. As women, maybe, no, as men, both men and women, we have a lot of insecurities.
All right.
We feel like if I teach this person what I know, this person will be more than me or want to overpower me or something. But now we have to deal with those insecurities, because when you're insecure, it spreads around you. You become a very protective person. Then secondly, what may lead to, the word is quite a big one,
gerontocracy.
It's as a result of past experience.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they brought younger women around them, younger men around them. They were betrayed, or their trust was maybe broken in one way. So they are healed, but they don't allow people into their circle.
Okay.
So people, most often it's not just because they don't want to share or they don't want to break that circle, but they hold on to
insecurities, some fear,
past experiences. So I feel like if we do more sensitization, as she mentioned, like we tell them, we need this thing, we need to pool our resources together, our knowledge, you know, the skills we've acquired, we build each other up. I feel it's about sensitization.
Exactly. So we really do need to sensitize. In fact, inform ourselves how to deal with all of these
things and the importance of actually working with one another.
All right, I think I have a comment here that just came in and it's in line with what we're just. It's like this person was waiting for that particular point.
Okay.
All right. Greetings to you in the studio. Thank you. That's just a small mistake. Greetings to you in the studio. I love the program and I love the topic, because this whole issue of women helping women has become a cankerworm has become a cankerworm that is eating into our society. And nowadays, most women are, instead of building others, breaking them. And thank you, Miss. I don't know the name well, please. I think he wants to talk about you. Thank you for talking about generational barriers, because I have experienced where my teacher, who is a lady, all right, this is interesting. My teacher, who is a lady, would not want to give me the information I need to help me grow, all because she sees me as a threat in her class. Wow. She sees me as a threat in her class, and this troubles me in school. It affects me in this particular course. So at the end of the day, I don't even know how I would even use the word women empowering women, because this woman, I look up to her, yet she sees me as a threat. Hence she keeps information away from me, which could help me grow. Please, people should talk more about it, because we women need to hear it. Thank you so much. This is coming from Cassandra, writing from Muya. Thank you so much, Cassandra, for sharing your experience. That's why we said people should share their experiences. Some people have collaborated and they have great experiences, so they should tell us about it. But Cassandra is saying that she has experienced this issue of the older generation not sharing with the younger one. And in her case, I really feel so bad. It's a lecturer. I think Prof will have to talk about this one since he is in that. It's in that, and you too. Now, what do you have to say about this? Why would a teacher feel threatened by a student?
Right. Okay. I will say two things.
Yes.
Now let me start from the student.
Yes.
There is this word my grandmother usually used. She says, your character is everything.
All right.
That your character can disarm any difficult front in
Wow,
before
your character can disarm any difficult front in front.
like
Wow.
any tension, any wall that
Yes.
has been built, your character can actually disarm people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do you approach this lecturer? It's about
Okay.
humility,
Oh.
character. A lot of young persons, permit me say that, I don't know, we don't have, we feel like we are in an age, we live in the computer age, we have all the knowledge online.
Yes.
But there is something, like respect, humility.
All right.
There is a way you have to approach somebody. Character
Your
is
manner of approach, the way you
yes,
ask
it determines everything.
Right.
And on the part of the lecturer, I would say insecurities. We have not, as women and as men or as leaders, we have not come to the realization that the universe is such a broad, it's a big place. We all have space in the sky to be whatever thing we want to become. You know, you shouldn't be afraid of lifting another person up, because there is space for everybody.
In fact, that person would even help lift you more.
Tomorrow.
Yes,
Yes.
because the person sings your praises, and whenever they want to say, I got to this point that, hey, if not for Miss Musole, if I did
peace of
not
mind.
meet Miss Jabozon, if I did not meet Prof, you can imagine. So they sing your praises, and at the end of the day, they boost you.
Yeah,
Who
and
helps them?
from like maybe shifting a little bit from praises as an individual, when you get to inspire somebody, when somebody tells you, I was at the verge of giving up, but I remembered something you said, it gives you peace of mind, it gives you rest, it gives you rest.
So, Prof, this is a student. You are in the academic, do I call it academic field?
Academia.
You are in the academia. Thank you, sir. So, so you are in the academia, and this is a student complaining about a lecturer, a female lecturer whom she looks up to and hopes to get information from this person which is going to boost her. However, she feels like this person is keeping information from her because she feels threatened by the student. What do you have to say about this?
Well, apart from being a generational problem,
Okay.
it's naturally a woman's problem.
Okay,
That's gender
yes,
something.
yes. Kelly goes that
It's
gender
yes,
something.
it's generally a woman's problem.
Yeah.
That spirit of competition,
Okay.
even intergenerational competition.
Oh, okay.
I'm very happy that she has given the positive and the negative side of it.
Yes, yes.
We have so many young girls today who think they have arrived. They don't even want to listen. In fact, there is this catchphrase, you cannot understand. You see youngsters telling aged people they cannot understand. And that's why at times they create their own forum and say, oh, we are the young people. I remember talking to a group of young leaders. I said, you can't
Okay, be leaders, you are
can't,
like young
you can't be
leaders.
young leaders only
the
by
forum.
yourselves. Because there are a lot of problems you face. You have an association which begins today. In 6 months, we already have more than 10 different associations from that same association, because the Secretary General wanted to be a president, the president wanted to remain there for life, the financial secretary, just amongst themselves.
All right.
And they don't implicate the old who can guide them as well. So when you see a situation where a female teacher behaves like this to a female student, it's hurting.
Yeah.
I mean, the young lady is very genuine, and I'm very happy that she can open up. That she can open up. Because the teacher has failed to understand that she has a legacy.
Yeah.
And that legacy is to be a kind of prototype of a woman whom this young girl will stand up in future and say, this woman played a role in my life. It would never change.
Exactly.
It will never change. I will not say because I have a PhD, I should not supervise others from having a PhD. Where I'm speaking here, I have students who are professors today, whom I have taught, who are professors today, just like me. And I'm proud. And they are proud. I would never be like them. They will never be like me. And my professors, I still call them my teachers and my masters because I will never be like them. I have my voice, no doubt. But they have helped me to have that voice. And so I respect them because I'm not a duplicate of them. And so this woman's fear, as you have rightly said, is a kind of insecurity. And it cuts across different aspects of the woman's life. That the woman empowering the woman. We've seen situations where these meetings are held just for the self-projection of a particular group of women, and not because of the interest of the woman.
That's a good one.
Let me give an example I have lived about widowhood, where you have women who are discriminated upon by other women because they lost their husbands, and they have created an association of widows, not because of men, but just because of the stigma that they have in the communities, because of the other women who think that, well, they have their husbands.
Have our husbands.
I have lived it, and I could understand the pain that is created. And then the shocking thing is that some of these women finally found themselves in widowhood situation and would beg to join the association they had despised. So we have questions of status, we have questions of class, and that's what I was talking about. No doubt there is so much going on around about the empowerment of the woman by the woman, the association of women entrepreneurs, the association of women this, the association of women that. But there is something, if there is no genuine sensitization, if there is no genuine common goal for the woman, if we don't keep our social status, I mean, you see women who are ministers today who still go to farms and work.
We keep the social status away.
We keep that, yes.
Work for the betterment of every
Of course,
woman.
we will not achieve that goal.
Right.
So I see with this young lady, and that is a seed that is being prevented from germinating. But I will encourage her that she still has her way through. That teacher of hers is an isolated case. There are still many women out here who are willing to build other women up and to do that genuinely. There are those who do it just for their image, for fame, for political reasons, and so on.
And maybe to add, she may take it as a lesson. She will learn how not to be as a woman.
Yes, not to treat some other person.
Yes,
Unfortunately, you have some
be.
persons, like when you're in secondary school, you find some senior students who meet you, and when this thing they say handover, where they can beat you to a pulp in school, and when you want to cry, they tell you, see, for my time, what they did to me, when I never even start. And they can beat the living daylight out of you. And so what you're saying is like, don't do unto some other person what you wouldn't have loved to be done to you. Let's come back to you, Miss Mosole. You spoke about awareness, and Prof just said sensitization. You spoke about creating that awareness, and you made mention of a woman maybe in Lesoka or Bokwai or some other remote area in the Boya community, and there is something happening at the Delegation of Women Empowerment. She's not aware and she cannot make it. In another situation, the person is aware, but maybe has responsibilities and cannot make it. I would love to ask you, what do you think about taking these same trainings to this Lisoka, Bokwai, Bokova? Because I think I've observed that as well. You find out that something that is good for women is placed at a place where they can't get to it. They can't get to it. You know, it's placed there, but they can't actually reach it. They can't access it because of what you think about we taking it to them.
It is a very positive initiative going on now, especially with civil society organizations
Yes.
that are getting into the communities to empower women, because they have realized that there are multiple tasks and responsibilities and cannot allow them to feed themselves in forums that can expose their potentials and skills. So, my personal opinion, is a very good initiative to go into the suburbs and disseminate this knowledge, train the women where they are,
exactly
listen to their voices from first-hand information,
get to them in their comfortable zone, like get to that context.
Yes.
And I think if we even take it there, you would even learn more
Yeah,
from them in that
Because
context.
a lot of them might not be educated as we think,
Exactly.
you know, maybe classroom education. But what they have is better
True.
than what
Than those of us who
things-
have been in the
Yes,
classroom,
yes.
the
Because
four
they-
walls of the classroom.
Yes, because they have their own experiences, their own worries, their own challenges, and also possible solutions they can propose to that will suit their context.
Exactly. In
Yes.
fact, I love this aspect of context because it even transcends. Like we have issues, I don't know, some people may find it crazy, Brent. We would have trainings that are coming from the international bodies. You hear the UN Women is here, they're training. But most often when you attend, you turn to realize that they bring already, what I call it, the scheme.
A template.
A template that works in a context that is not ours, a context that is foreign to us, and then you bring it and you are actually educating us on how to implement that scheme or that template in our context without actually finding out whether or not it will work in our context.
That is why when we talk of equality in terms of beneficiaries,
Yeah.
women being they should be equal in how they benefit from project initiatives.
Yes.
To my opinion, these projects that are implemented from above
Yeah.
should go down to the communities, allow the community inhabitants to determine their problems.
Exactly.
It should be a bottom-top approach.
Exactly. In fact,
So
this
that
one.
at the end of the project, they are going to be satisfied because it's going to meet their needs, meet their interests, priorities, and so on.
And at the end of the day, you leave them truly satisfied and you have made an impact.
Yes.
Because we could, it's like we say internally displaced today. We are going to internally displace women. Majority of us will take maybe our clothes, we say they don't have dresses. Now we get there, but we did not do that fact finding to find out, Mama or this lady or my sister, my daughter, what do you need? We bring what we think you need and we give it to you, hence we are fulfilled that we've done something. However, the impact has not been made because that person does not need a cloth, the person needs food. That person may not need food, the person needs shelter. So I think I go with what she just said. She said the community should determine what their problem is. So it comes back to we women who are trying to help other women. Let that woman determine to you what her problem is and what she needs, not you telling her what she probably needs.
And maybe to add,
Yes.
I want to ask this question. Let's take the UN trainings and so on.
Yes.
Do we need it? I feel like we need to rethink the whole development process in Africa.
I think there will be another section where a
because-
segment or edition where we would have to talk elaborately on
we
this
really
particular.
need
The
these things.
Pan-African woman.
You know, and most often when we talk about gender, that's why we have a lot of the divorce rate is actually high
exactly.
because we take Western feminism and we think it's African feminism. It's
Exactly.
different. An African woman is built different. An African woman,
Her realities are different.
different.
Wow.
If I can add,
Yes,
it's just that continuity of the colonial mentality and the perpetration of ideals and philosophies, cultural values that do not belong to us. I have had the situation where after a 2-week interaction with the rural woman by some elitist group of women who thought that they were writing on empty slates.
Yeah, like you're talking to people who are blank.
At the end of the day, the rural women did not understand what they came to do there. Because they did not take into consideration, as you rightly said, their own realities. But they came there to tell them, oh, we are the women's solidarity. We want to build ourselves up by excluding. There are many forms of gender discrimination regarding the woman and the woman. In terms of class, in terms of status, in terms of you find that happening, and that's why I said, if sensitization is not genuine, if the realities within the context are not taken into consideration, then we'll just be superficial with that so-called growth. Because if you think about what the rural woman is capable of doing in the economic growth of this country.
Yeah.
If you think about what the buy and sell is capable of doing in the
Yeah,
economic
the
growth
market
of this country, and you want to regroup them, we don't need those big economists or whoever. We need people who have studied community development, people who have studied rural communities and how to interact with these women at this level, who can contribute significantly at that level. Because when we say rural, we think that it is diminutive. And when we say urban, we think that it is so big. Whereas
those are the
the
happening
urban usually depends on the rural.
Yes.
And that's why I was talking about micro levels, macro levels, the different
From
levels of
quartier
the
to
different levels.
community and all.
Because women are very sensitive, extremely sensitive. And once a woman understands that this is not going right, that's where you find this conflict and rivalry amongst them. And not because it is patriarchy that has created it. So in their fight for their emancipation and their empowerment, there are other obstacles that come to play. And these obstacles have to do with
All this
different variables, different
trying to create a barrier that
yes,
is
these
not
different,
supposed to be there.
variables.
This aspect of sensitization and awareness, in fact, it's really a huge one. And since we talked about the trainings and all, we talked about taking it to the woman in her community, within her own context. And Prof said something that I think is very pertinent. You get there, and instead of speaking in the language they would understand, we go there and we're being so elitist. Sometimes it does happen like that. I think I observed in a training that was happening in Bokwai, I think, where one of the indigents asked a question, but she didn't have the right words. So one of the persons who were there as a volunteer, a lady, turned to her and was like, "Well, what are you trying to say? I can't get you." So I was trying to work with some other person and I was watching. So I couldn't rush to them. I thought Pepper should handle. Then I noticed her wave her hand. She was like, I can't even get what you're saying. And then went away. And I saw this other lady who really needed her to understand her, sitting there, and throughout that workshop, she was like so down. That you have just, it's like you poked the bear. It's like something just left her. She's just there. So I went to her and I asked her, "Ben Naweti." So I spoke in pidgin. The moment I said Naweti, her eyes lit, like a lit up. Like she looked at me and was like, I was like, she went, I was like, okay. So the problem was the language barrier. So when I went to the other lady, I said, try to speak to these people in pidgin. Pidgin is our language. It's the normal parlang in Cameroon. Everybody, even a Francophone, understands pidgin. Anglophones understand pidgin. So if we have to take it, it means we have to break down the language, break it down and let them understand. Wow.
And that brings something to my mind. Let me just chip it in.
Yes, please.
Sometimes as women, we don't show our weaknesses to other women. So the younger generation, they see us as perfect human beings. They don't know that I can fail, I can cry. They don't know maybe I've had to receive an exam before, or maybe I had to break down. So maybe even in our networks, you should be able to tell them, I failed in this area. And so we're like, oh wow, you failed, what did you do? I'm actually in that. So we shouldn't paint a perfect picture. Because as Prof said, they can these elitist women, they can actually speak pidgin. But why use the posh language?
It's really the posh language.
They can go to the farms, they can go and do harvesting with the rural
and
woman.
You teach them there.
They can go and harvest peanuts, groundnuts, corn.
Do all of that.
I mean, that's when the women know that we
they
are.
feel like you are women like them.
Yes.
Yeah. And it goes.
Not that you go and wait
I love that aspect.
for your car
really
to be
important.
filled, and you don't even want your shoe to get stained, and that kind of. They are sensitive.
No, they pick it very fast. It's like you talk and then you hang your nose. They will pick it as fast as possible. And it just completely ruins the communication at that time. Miss Mosale, you are a CEO. And you are running the Naomi's Foundation. Now, Miss Jabusong just said something. The younger generation will look up to the older ones, or those who have been able to achieve something, and they think, oh, they're so perfect. Like nothing goes wrong in their life. They have it all together. Now, looking at networking and looking at this aspect, what would you say to someone who is a leader? Like you are a woman and you are in a leadership position. And she's talking about letting out your weaknesses, letting them know that you two are human. What do you think about that?
Well, for me, it's all about mentorship.
Okay.
And as a CEO, when I go to mentor students, when I go to talk to them in schools or in the community, I always express myself. I tell them my challenges.
Yeah. They relate even better.
Yes, nobody has a perfect life. And by the time, even though we have skeletons in our cupboards,
yeah, we all do.
Pick out what can encourage someone, who can motivate them, you know, within that context of what you are talking about. They feel very relaxed to express themselves.
Yeah, they feel like this person may understand me,
yes,
if I should say this.
For instance, I had a small meeting somewhere with some students to talk about entrepreneurship. No, leadership is all about serving.
Yes.
And if
word.
you want to serve, you have to be very humble. You have to be very open. You accept opinions from different angles, because people's thoughts are different. Their opinions are different. What they think is different.
That's true.
And it's important too. You learn. It's about knowledge sharing. And you make them to understand that it's a two-way thing. It's a give and take. Nobody knows all.
Exactly. Like I took and learned from you.
Yes.
Good.
So
I think, okay,
the facilitates
communication
mentorship session. And
wow. I think the viewers may find this as a shock, you know. I think I've never said this on Girls Talk anyway. I'm that kind of person. I say things and I behave like I did not say them. Anyway, there was a time I shared a story on Facebook. You may have come across it, you may not have, but I think Prof knows exactly what I'm talking about. I shared something, and since I'm also in a position of leadership, most of my volunteers in our organization, could not fathom the idea that I, of all people, could have had that experience. I was so shocked with the way people were getting to me. Like someone would call and say, it's impossible. And the person, please tell me that did not happen to you. I'm like, but I'm human. It could happen to me. They're like, it's impossible. Okay, so this is why you behave like this. All right, this is why you used to say this. Now I get it. It's all coming together. And most of them were like, how could you even do that? How brave can you be? Like, you seem to just say it like, okay, people know this is it. But I was doing it not for myself. I was doing it because it had to serve a purpose. And the purpose was to bring healing to anybody who had been in my shoe. Now, I shared a story of my rape case. I'm sure a viewer watching will be like, huh? Did she just say the word? Yeah, that's it. Sometime in Girls Talk, we'll talk about it. But then I shared that story. And when I put it up there, family members, colleagues, friends, people were going wild. Everybody was calling. But they were not paying attention to the fact that that message was meant to heal somebody, was meant to help somebody. Now, what did it do? It opened the door for me to find out that even the people around me have been living that reality. In fact, there was even someone who was still living the reality, who did not know who to talk to. And then finding out that Blessing has experienced this, immediately got to me like, Blair, I need to talk with you. I was like, what is it? That thing you spoke about, we are together. I said, oh, really? Please, I need to talk to somebody. I'm burning inside. And since we spoke, you realize there's some life coming back to her. She seems to be finding some sense of purpose. So this aspect of letting someone know that you are actually able, or you too can go through this thing, it helps to rather inspire us more.
yes.
Than for us to be the superwomen,
And
you know.
strengthens you as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that is it. Talking about your stories, talking about your challenges, talking about your difficulties, and
Yeah, we said this at the
and
beginning,
yes, and
sharing difficulties. And
leading the way forward. Because it's only other women who will say, why is she doing this? And for what purpose? Forgetting the positive side of that embittered experience.
Yeah, that's true.
So it comes back to what you were saying, that women should be very genuine, should be truthful.
Let's stop painting that Facebook social media image. I think women, okay, since we're talking women, social media is our thing. Let's stop doing the Facebook social media perfections.
Those are billboards.
Which do not exist.
And it puts us under pressure.
Wow.
Because you have to live up to something. You always want to be put together as a woman, but it's okay. Like I always tell my friends, it's okay not to be okay.
Exactly.
It's okay not to know the next thing you want to do. It's okay not to be lost in your vision. You will always find yourself. But wanting to be perfect all the time, it's an illusion.
It's like it's a perfect day, I had a perfect week.
And everything is moving.
So, and do you know when we put on these perfections, we don't get help?
We don't. Everybody know, oh, you're fine.
No, sincerely, let's look at it.
You have so many likes.
We are the people who is
In the absence of the likes, you're even more frustrated.
Lonely.
Whereas your problems are not being addressed.
Because no one knows you have a problem. Like you just posted just ate chicken now, and probably you borrowed it from somebody's status and put on your, and probably you're hungry at the time. No friend will invite you to come eat and then probably discuss on how you people can move forward because they don't know.
Much as we don't need to expose.
Yeah, it's not like you
know who you are. Inspire them. And say, I need to. She inspired me one way or the other. Yes.
Wow. Okay, let's talk about, since I said internet, let's talk about how women can collaborate using women can collaborate, network, using these platforms.
All right. I think appreciating one another.
Okay.
You know, February was a month of love. And what I did is, anyway, it was on my WhatsApp status. I will share pictures of my friends. I appreciate them with words and achievements. Now, when you are word activity, peace in Cameroon. If you write a good article on peace, women will and the preservation. Now I have women on my platform don't have. So if I share knowledge, they get a broader
more women than your close.
Yeah, so we can a lot juicy to app.
Okay.
There are times that WhatsApp group, women's for girls for from time to time, sometimes I realize someone did respond.
Yeah.
So it's a conscious something for me. If I'm in
let us also react. I think pray for this one.